Skill number 9 is writing. It's probably the least obvious skill that can help us achieve native-like fluency, but it's one of the most important things. It has a huge impact on developing your thinking skills in the first place. Because when you write things down, you're showing yourself how you actually think. Because what you write is what you think. And how you write is how you speak. The thing, they are identical. Everything starts here. Everything starts with how you think, and then you unpack your thoughts using words, either on paper or out loud. And when I say writing, I mean you have to use your pen and paper. Do not type things. Writing with your hand is so beneficial to so many processes happening in your brain. It's just so important for developing so many subtle neural pathways that you can never achieve when you type things on your computer or your laptop. So when I say writing, I mean writing with your hand, using a real pen. Why is writing so important? I have spoken about it already in skill number 8, because you actually can see very clearly what it is that you need to doubt, what ideas do you need to check, right? Do these word combinations even go together? Did I miss an article or did I use an article? Is this the right article? Is this the right synonym? Am I repeating my verbs? Am I repeating my message? Is my message even clear, right? You're actually practicing all the other skills that we have mentioned before when you do writing exercises. There are a lot of exercises you can do, and you can take the writing course. There are so many writing courses. Learn to Think in English. There is confident business writing for non-native speakers. There is writing sales copy in human language. There is blogging. There is resume. But every time you write, you're learning to organize your thoughts and you're learning to speak better. We start with changing our thinking patterns. And it takes time to change our thinking patterns. This is why we write things down, because when we speak, there is no time to remember, to come back to what we said, to fix it. But when we write things down, there is always time to edit what we have written down, to remove the redundant verbs, to add things that we forgot to say, to revisit the structure of our sentences, to add or remove articles. There is time for that. And once you have edited your piece of writing, you always need to read it out loud. You always need to record yourself, because this is how you're teaching yourself to say things correctly. You're teaching yourself to use the correct word combinations, and you're teaching yourself to be more attentive to what you're saying right now, because the edited text should become your norm. It's not the way you normally speak yet, because you see how much time it takes to edit and edit and edit and then finally arrive at something that is English and that is 100% in English. And when you say it out loud, you're teaching yourself to make it the norm. And you should develop this feeling of confidence. So when you read it out loud, I mean when you read the correct version out loud, and you know that whatever you're reading or whatever you're saying is 100% correct, it gives you a lot of confidence. It gives me a lot of confidence hearing myself and knowing that everything I'm saying is 100% correct. Not everything I'm saying is 100% correct all the time, because I'm also human, I also make mistakes. But to me, at this level of native-like fluency, never making a mistake is not really what I want. For me, the speed of correction is what matters. How fast can I hear my mistake? How fast can I correct it? And do I even know how to correct it? Or am I going to get upset for the rest of the day because I made a mistake on camera or because I made a mistake in a conversation? The speed of correction is what matters the most. And you develop the speed of correction when you actually correct your writing. And first, it's going to be very slow, trust me, because you will have to find things that don't sound right. Obviously, you don't see them, otherwise you wouldn't be speaking like this. Then you have to learn how to fix them. Then you have to see if it works. Then you have to get used to saying the correct version out loud. And then you have to develop this momentum, where it just continues on its own. You know that this is correct and you always say it correctly. And this becomes your new norm. What can you write down? I recommend a very simple well, I always say it, I recommend a very simple exercise because I've been doing them for years, right? And they sound very simple to me. They're not simple to do, actually. You have to show some commitment. But an effective exercise would be writing a blog, a short blog. Just commit to writing 2 or 3 sentences every day. And 2 or 3 sentences can already make a very small paragraph. Write about something not related to work. That is so important because people know all their professional vocabulary. They know how to talk about work. They're experts in what they do. This is why you have this job. But write about something that, you thought about today. You had an insight into something. Write about that. If you really struggle with topics, at the end of every day, ask yourself, what do I remember the most about today? I used to do this exercise. It's amazing how many things you can discover about yourself. If every evening you ask yourself, what's the most important thing I remember from today? And try to put it in writing. Very simple question. The answers are not so simple, but it will give you a lot of insights into how you think, into what you can say, and what your English sounds like. I will also include an episode with Hugh Jackman where he explains the writing exercise he does. And he writes a design of his day, or I think he calls it a day design, where every morning he writes a paragraph that explains what he has done on that day. So he starts his day by thinking how he's going to finish the day. It's a very interesting technique recommended to him by his life coach, and he shares what he's doing every day. Maybe you will find it interesting, and you don't really need to think about, that's my point, you don't need to think about topics that are not relevant to you. Your day is only your day, and things that happen on this day, they're just yours. They're absolutely yours. Write about that, something that is yours. The level of native-like fluency is all about communicating our inner world to other people, and this is where people struggle the most. They can talk about digital marketing, leading a team, giving a presentation to a board of directors, but they can rarely explain what it is they think, why they think so, what they feel, what it feels like to be here, what it feels like to do it. They can't explain why they don't like something, why they like something, which means they communicate with a lot of people to a very limited degree. Only work, only this, only at the bar, only, at school. But real friendship, real communication, real connection, real depth of connection means a different level of using your language and different level of organizing your thought process, even so that you can articulate it. We're learning here to be articulate in the English language, and writing is the best exercise to do it.